everyone, I am tuning in with you from Flat Rock, just about, I don't know, about, what did you say, Josh, 20 to 25 minute drive from St. John's?
Not bad.
It's one of our favorite spots to go to, and this week I want to talk about how to process anger. I don't know about you, but I've definitely been feeling a lot of frustration and just like fear and hurt at times in the world these days. So I thought maybe this is like a heavy topic that could really help a lot of people who may be feeling the same. And this is inspired by Thom Bond's amazing work with nonviolent communication. And he has an amazing course. It's a one-year course called the Compassion Course, and I can't recommend it enough. It has literally changed my life. And the global compassion community that he's created around the world is just something that is so precious to me. And I've met the most amazing people through this network. And these lessons that I'm sharing through nonviolent communication are all Thom Bond and Marshall Rosenberg, who was his mentor in nonviolent communication. I hope you enjoyed this week's segment, and hope these tips help you in this challenging world that we're experiencing right now. Mwah. Here's the first one. Anger is confusion between how we think this person should be versus what we want in our own lives. It's hard to think about anger that way when somebody's angry towards us. And it's also hard to think that way when we're feeling angry. And this video is to focus on how we can process anger for ourselves. I'll probably do another video at some point where we focus on how to deal with anger in another person. But something that I really try to be gentle with myself about is that, like, yeah, anger often comes from a place of hurt, from frustration, and from fear. That intensity really teaches us, doesn't it? It teaches us about what is important to us. And that's a really important tool to tap inside and figure out what's going on. In an angry state, we become less capable of communicating effectively with another person. I even made a cue card about that, so I'm just going to repeat that. Right? In an angry state, we become less effective in communicating with another person. So something that Thom Bond talks a lot about, sorry, my knees. Let's just adjust a little bit. I hope you're laughing at me. Thom Bond talks a lot about this, about how, like, when we're feeling angry, that is not the right time to have a conversation with another person about how we're feeling. You know, we're not really able to effectively communicate in that emotional zone. And it's important to take a step back and to actually say to the other person, you know, there's something inside me that's really reacting right now, and I really care about our relationship, and I don't want to say something that's going to be hurtful. So I need for myself some time to take some time aside, but I promise to get back to you as soon as I'm able to calm down. And typically speaking, that time out is 20 minutes. Pause. It's okay to press pause when we're feeling reactive towards another person. It's actually the best way to protect that relationship. Pause. Pause when you're feeling that intensity inside. So when you take that time by yourself, like, what can you do to actually process that? I'll tell you, for myself, it's really focusing on those judgments and almost like having a party with my judgments. Like, and you know, part of that is like, it's all about, that person should be doing this and they should be doing that and they shouldn't be doing this. And, you know, I get it all out of my system. And different ways that I do that is one, free-form writing. It's so helpful. And not reading it back, right? Writing it out, not reading it back, just ripping it up, but honoring how you're feeling, like those judgments. Another way that I find really helpful is to, if you have access to a beach where there's lots of rocks, just like throwing the rocks and like breaking the rocks on other rocks and just like really expressing that anger and that frustration, right? That hurt, that disappointment. Another way, be a little kid again. Roll on the floor. Have a temper tantrum if you've got privacy to do that. If you have no privacy, grab a pillow from your bed and just scream in the pillow. I've heard in New York City there's some like great rage rooms. I think a rage room should be created here in Newfoundland. So there's so many different ways to express that, right? After we've kind of gotten rid of that feeling of just like total judgment and shoulds and shouldn'ts, once we've calmed down from that, then we're in a place where we can just like ask ourselves, what am I feeling inside? Like what emotions are being kind of bubbling up inside of me? And then ask ourselves like, what do I wish I could have more of that I don't currently have in this moment? Because that's really what it comes down to, right? These feelings are indications to us of some unmet needs in our life. We all have needs. It's what connects all human living beings, is that we all have needs. And we're always on a pursuit of how to meet those needs. So when those needs aren't met, yeah, it can make us feel really darn frustrated. I have to stand up for a second. So, it's like, what am I feeling? Oh man, I'm so frustrated. I'm angry. I'm resentful. I'm infuriated. Whatever it is, right? What are those feelings? And then, what is it indicating that I need? What do I want more of in my life? Even more so, like, what would I love to have in my life, right? If we tap into that, then we can kind of start to see that there are like many different ways that we can meet those needs on our own. We actually don't need the other person to meet those needs. Thom Bond talks about how there's 10,000 ways to meet a need. And it's in really interesting experiments to just like jot in a journal when we're feeling through the feelings, feeling through the unmet needs, and just be like, yeah, what are 10 different ways that I could meet this need in this moment on my own? Another thing Thom Bond shares, and I love this, strike when the iron is cold. Because when emotions are calm and both people are receptive to communicating with one another, there can be a whole lot more connection. So I really hope this helps you just like think about how you're processing your anger and just like experiment with it and see if you can recognize those judgments, those shoulds, those shouldn'ts, those feelings, and what needs might be underneath that that are currently not being met for you. And then see, what are 10 different ways that I can work towards meeting those needs on my own. I hope that helps support you. And now I'm going to show you this beautiful view and give my knees a rest. Wow! From the river to the ocean. ocean, the Atlantic Ocean. What a beautiful spot. I love Flat Rock. Have a beautiful day. I'm sending you so much love today. Mwah.